So I wanted to show you guys some more fun desserts or snacks that you can have. The trick is that, so for instance, Monday through like Wednesday, I stay really strict. I get really healthy foods because I like to eat a lot. I don't want to eat a teeny tiny little thing, but during the weekends or whatever, I let myself have the funner stuff, but then you have to eat very little of it. So that's the balance. That's the key. You can have the fun stuff, but very little of it. Or you can have stuff that tastes good that you make that I still think is fun because I make it taste like the fun stuff. But you can have a ton of that. It's just the healthier version of it. It takes more time and effort because it's not ready made. You got to make it. Actually, right now there's a lot of stuff that's already ready made, which is awesome. Back in the day, you had to make everything. But now there's so many options, but you can make a lot of stuff yourself. So let's go take a look at, this is my garage. My husband installed some freezers in here for all my meal preps. So let's see. One of the things that I love are these Yasos, and these are still more towards the healthier. Healthier. You still have to read the labels because, like, for instance, it still has 9 grams of added sugar. So again, if you're diabetic and things like that, that's something to keep in mind. But look how many flavors they have. They have cookies and cream, black raspberry. This one's really good. And they're all under 100 calories. And they're pretty good size, too. Let me see if I can open this with one hand. Let's see here. Close that door. Whoops. Yeah, fell down. Oh. Okay, so that's the size of the popsicle. So, where's my tape measure? Okay. They are 3 1/4 inches. 3 1/4 inches. So, not too bad. By 2 1/4. So, not too shabby. I don't have my tool belt, so put this down. But not bad, right? And then we have caramel, mint, chocolate chip. So those are, they're yogurt, so they're supposed to be a little better. They have just a little bit more protein for you there. And let me close the fridge so it's not beeping at me. Let me go back in it. Okay. Then, on the healthier versions as well, we have the mango on a stick. I just found these at Walmart. They're pretty good. They're only 50 calories for a mango, and the mangoes are pretty good size too. The pineapple one, that's a pretty good size one too, and that one's only 40 calories. So, like, I like the mango and the pineapple because I try to look for things before a workout that are going to help with nitric oxide. And so I compare them with some dark chocolate or some more protein sources, like a protein powder, like, for instance, a chocolate protein powder, and you mix it up with a little bit of water, and you can dip it in there. You have a protein snack. Can you believe it? And it's frozen. So it's like ice cream. Then we get a little bit less healthy. But you can still have these. You just have to be mindful and read the labels. But I like these, the minis. The Mexico Helados minis. 60 calories or 80 calories per bar. So pretty good. 10 grams of added sugar. If you're into not having sugar, be mindful of those because they do have options out there that have no sugar. These are more the sugary kind of stuff. So be mindful of that, because even though like sugar is sugar, there are different reactions to different kinds of sugar, especially like if you have fiber going on, things like that. It'll be less of a drastic spike, which helps you not store it. So that's good. And of course you want to eat your protein with things, protein and fiber, because it slows down the digestion of it. Then at Albertsons, they have these mini ice cream, what do you call them? Sandwiches. Mini ice cream sandwiches. So those are pretty good. And then they have these lots of mini stuff nowadays. Pretty cool. Oreo mini sandwiches. So these are 60 calories for one. I have like 1.5. That way it's 90. Then I add a peanut M&M because that's 10 calories. 100 calories right there. And then, so again, I usually try to make my snacks 100 calories with a balanced macro of protein, fat, and carbs. Good fats and good carbs. But towards the weekend, I let myself have one of these naughty ones that you can say naughty or whatever. And then Snickers minis. These are 90 calories per bar. Very good. These are yummy. I like these. But again, dangerous. So don't have those all the time, just every once in a while. Stick to the mango on a stick for the most part. The other desserts that I like are, I don't know if you've ever tried this Arctic Zero. A lot of people complain about how hard and icy it is, but if you just let it sit for 20 minutes, like not even that much, maybe 10 minutes, it gets soft and it tastes really good. Of course, you're prioritizing the macros. This is 2/3 of a cup is 50 calories. That's pretty darn good. Again, it's not like there's any protein in here, and it has some fiber, huh? I didn't know that. Well, anyways, it's pretty good, low calorie. I like it on when I make some protein skillet cookies, and I put that on top. That's pretty good, and it takes forever to melt on them, so it kind of works out. But yeah, if you're gonna eat it by itself, let it thaw a little bit. Let's see. The other thing that I like is Halo Top. That's my favorite ice cream that I use. Because 2/3 of a cup, 2/3 is 100 calories. 2/3. So if you go get 1/3 of a cup and double it, you get 2/3. This is 2/3. Size of my cheek. Okay? This is 1/3. My cheekbone. 2/3. My whole cheek. That's pretty good for 100 calories. And it is ice cream, so again, you're mindful that you are having sugar. Other than that, I try to make my snacks that are healthier, so like Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, and you can freeze those too. Make yourself some ice cream. I have Ninja Protein. Oh my gosh, Ninja Protein ice creams are awesome. I make tons of those. Every Monday, I have a giant tub that's filled to this top line. Yeah, pretty much. Of protein ice cream. Make your own. It's easy to stay on your macros when you make your own. There are other options out there. There are healthy options that you can have as well. And then these are the, not so healthy, but fun. Have some fun sometimes, but be mindful that it is, what would be the word? Moderation. The Unhealthy snacks, have in moderation. Enjoy them, but in moderation. And then the rest of it, keep up the good work. Keep up the good work. That's another thing. Consistency. You don't have to bust your butt one day. You have to bust your butt every day. But if you just bust your butt like extremely hard one day and then don't do the rest of it, that doesn't work. But if you keep a consistent, busting of your butt, I don't know how to describe it, but like the tone, like or every day, every day, every day. I guess that's why they call it the grind, right? Just keep it up, then you can do it. And those were a little bit of funner snacks. Other than that, berries, nature provides a lot of good snacks if you really think about it. And one of the things that I think about is if you were a caveman, didn't have any tools to open things, how much effort would it take to get to that item? It's probably higher calorie if it's harder. So like a nut, you would think a little tiny nut, how many calories could it possibly have? But think of it without processing, because we have them shelled, cracked, made into tiny things for us. But think of an actual nut. How hard it would be for you to get into it without any tools. Maybe a rock. Okay? And you still have to figure out the rock situation. Because, I've cracked nuts with the crackers and all of that. But think of not having any tool. How hard it would be. So it's kind of like God provided it in a certain balance. He gave you something very small with lots of calories. That's a little hard for you to get. The easier it was, the vegetables growing out on the field. Easier to pick, right? You don't have to, they're harder to grow, but they're not that hard to get. So the berries, all that. So think of it in that sense. I think it's kind of an interesting scenario. How hard would it be to get? And that probably has more calories. If it's easier to get, it probably has less calories. In nature. In life, when people have processed everything and you can just go grab a pizza, that's the opposite. If it's easier for you to get, it's usually higher calories. If it's harder because you have to go make it, or like for instance, you go to a nice restaurant, they're more expensive, right? And they usually give you healthier food. Isn't that an ironic thing that the easier item to get now is the harder thing to get? Interesting. And more expensive. But you can get them for inexpensive, and now it just takes the time and effort for you to make it. Because that's kind of what you're paying for when you go to the restaurant, the chef and all his creativity and all that stuff that we don't see. So most of the time, stick to healthy snacks. Every once in a while, have those fun ones. Gave you some that are still in the macros. That way, you're not having a chocolate sundae, but you are having a chocolate ice cream cone or whatever that's still in your macros. And for 90% of your life, you're making your own protein ice cream. So, nutrition delish, enjoy.